Hi guys, welcome to Charities Bubble USA, your #1 channel. It's in the morning here. I hope you're doing fine. I'm also doing very well. I hope you're doing fine. I like to always start my videos with a thank you note to you for subscribing to my channel, to you for commenting, to you for liking my videos, guys. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, kindly consider subscribing. And when you watch my videos, guys, please give it a thumbs up. Just press that button, give it a thumbs up. That takes it a long way. It's just like appreciating what I'm doing. So today I want to talk to DV 2024 people. It's just around the corner to start. I know the DV 2023 are anticipating to get their second 2NLs so that they can start going to the embassy in October. Now, this is for the new people, and this is to remind the other people what is expected of us. Because for you to be successful, you have to start with what do they expect of me. And normally what I do, I do a video depending on the questions that I have received from people. So I'm gonna take you to the website that I normally tell you to go. This when you are interested in applying for the DV lottery, this is where you should always go, because this information is online. Let me see, I'm trying to share my website here. There. It's very, very important, very important for you to go to the source of information. You go, you read and look. So we are gonna go see, and of course we are gonna talk about this website because some people have been asking me where to go. Now I did the photo video, and there was this person who was like, "Where did you get that information from?" So it is from this website, and normally just Google it, travel.state.gov, wherever you are in Africa. Google this website, and then you can read everything to its entirety. Actually, even after you watch my video, it's good to go back there and verify, because I tell you, this is not my information. This is the information that I did not know when I won my DV lottery, because I had some hitches, I had some challenges, and if I had known about this website, guys, maybe maybe it would have been smoother. That's why I wanna like show you where to go when you need information. I want to show you that you don't have to rely on someone. When you want to apply, when you want to know the rules, when you want to know about the photo, don't go paying people for this information, because it's there online. So let's go and look at when you want to apply for your DV lottery. What are the instructions? Because everything has got rules. And what rules are you supposed to follow, or what is the information that you should know when you are trying, or when you're thinking about applying for the DV lottery? So I'm going to go here, but what I'm going to do, when you look at here, I am going to read for DV 2023, because the DV 2024 information has not yet come out. That one is going to come out as soon as they announce when the DV lottery is going to be filled. That should be in early October. Another thing that I want to talk about is about the passport. You don't require a passport to do your application. And there was this person who was asking, what do I write on the passport area? Just leave it blank. If they do not require it, just leave it blank. Leave it alone, and that's a good thing, because it's gonna give so many people that chance of doing the application. Because when they introduced the passport rule, you find that most people could not do the application. It was unfortunate, because this is something that it's a lottery, and you are required to go and look for a passport in your country, and those passports are expensive. So when they removed that passport rule, it's a gain for each and everybody who cannot, first of all, afford the money for the passport, and then they enter into the lottery. So don't worry about that part that says actually they might, the forms that come out for you to fill might have a slight difference because of that. I'm not saying that they will, but they may. But before that, because these rules, if you read the DV 2022 instructions, if you read the DV 2023 instructions, they are similar. They don't change much. So I am just going to touch on some of the very, very, very important things that you should know. Now you go to this website, and like I said, this is not my information. I read from this website and just try to guide you guys if you don't know where to go. Now let's go to, we have this one for DV 2022 and we have this one for DV 2023. Remember, DV 2022 is ending on September 30th. It's going to end on September 30th. And now they're going to do DV 2023. Those are the people who have already won the green card, and they will go that whole year up to September 30th. And now DV 2024 are those people who are going to apply for their DV lottery in this October, and they are going to wait for their results in May of next year. That's what that's how it goes. Now let's look at the instructions. If you go down here, remember that website. If you go down there and click on this link here, it's gonna take you to this this information here, and this is why you're supposed to read, because it tells you. And normally you find that for everyone, the one that they will publish for DV 2024, it normally gives you the countries that are eligible and the countries that are not eligible, and you can read that information over there. Now they also have an eligibility here, requirement number 1. So what is the requirement number 1? Now, if you are not of a native country with historically low rates of immigration of the US, there are 2 other ways you might be able to qualify. Let's assume that you are from one of these countries. Maybe you are from Canada, maybe you are from China, or you are from Haiti or United Kingdom, and you wanna apply for the green card, but you are not from that country, but your spouse is from a native country. Maybe you are married to someone from Tanzania or from Uganda or from Zambia. If your spouse is from a native country with a historically low rates, because the people who qualify for the DV lottery, their country doesn't have so many people who have come to the US. So you can claim your spouse country of birth. And that's why I say maybe you're married to someone who doesn't qualify. Maybe you're from China, and you get married to someone from South Africa or whatever. You find that you will be able to, if you're married to that person, you will be able to claim that person's country of birth, provided you and your spouse are named in the selected entry and found eligible and issued diversity visas to enter US at the same time. So you can qualify through your spouse. And it's the same thing that, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, about education, how you can qualify through your spouse, because you can. Now, what is the requirement number 2? This is very, very important. Each DV applicant must meet the education or work experience requirement for the DV lottery, having either at least a high school education or its equivalent. There was a question. This person told me that they had reached class 7 and they don't have any other education, but they tell you work experience. But you have to go to a website called o.net and see the work that you're doing, does it qualify? Because there has to be a certain qualification. It's not every job. There has to be a certain, I think it's a job zone, I think 4 with a category of 7, SVP of 7. And I'm going to go back and look at that. And maybe I can do another video about that. So you have to have that. Now, let's assume that you didn't have education, and it's okay. It's okay. There are so many reasons that make someone not to have an education, but maybe your spouse went up to high school, or they have an equivalent of high school. That high school is the lowest. You can go out, maybe you have gone up to university or whatever, it doesn't matter, but you have to start from high school. That's the lowest that they need. Then you can claim from your spouse, but you cannot be the primary applicant, because this one directly affects so much the primary applicant. So it's very, very important when you are doing the application. You can use your husband or your wife. So for 2 years work experience within the past 5 years in an occupation that requires at least 2 years of training or experience to perform, the Department of State will use the US Department of Labor, or this is an asterisk, net online database to determine qualifying work experience. So go to this website, guys, and see if what you're doing qualifies. Now, let's do another one. Now you have to complete your application electronically. It's called the EDV, the EDV, and it normally starts, the time that they will say, it will start at 12 noon and then it will end at 12 p.m. The other time. Now, I don't have a date for the DV 2024, but as soon as it's announced, you guys will be able to know, so that you can do your application. And it's good to do your applications early. It's very, 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 very important. Now, there is another thing. Let's see. So it's extremely important that you retain the printout of your confirmation page and unique confirmation number. Now, this one always gives a problem for people back there in Africa, because you want someone to do the application for you and then they hide your confirmation number. And then when you have won, they want you to pay them. That's why I normally tell you guys, please do your application. And they have written here, unscrupulous visa facilitators have been known to assist entrants with their entries, retain the confirmation page printout, and demand more money in exchange for the confirmation number. You see, they have written here, this is not my information. This is their information. They're trying to warn you. So without this information, you will not be able to access the online system that informs you of your entry status. Be wary if someone offers to keep this information for you. You should retain access to the email account listed in your DV entry. So it's very, very important that you do this for yourself. Very, very important, guys. Do it for yourself. So that you don't have that problem of someone charging you, because nobody should be charging you for this stuff. This stuff is free of charge. So frequently asked questions. For more information about DV program scams, you can click on here and see more scams, because people are going to scam, especially, information is the key. If you do not have information, you find that someone will come and they will take your money. And also they have offered you here a video for an introduction for the DV program and step-by-step guide to help you to submit an entry. There is also a video, guys, there in that website that you can look at and do the application for yourself. So, and I normally wonder, I've shown you where to go and what to do, and still people are saying, oh, can you do the application for me or whatever? This is something that you can do for yourself. Now, when you have done your submission, you'll get a confirmation number. Keep it safe. Another thing, remember the email that you used. The email is very, very important. Don't lose your email, and do not lose your password for your email. Of course, you can change your password, that's fine. But do not forget that email. You know how many people wrote to me, they were like, I forgot my email, I don't remember, whatever. Please, please, please. The most important thing, your confirmation number and your email, because your email that is the only way that they are going to tell you. They will contact you with the email after you have won. But when you have won, you have to use your confirmation number, go to that website and see if you have been selected. After you have been selected, consequently, that email will come into play, because when they are sending you information about how to go to the embassy, your appointment, they will send it through that email. So those are two important things. Your confirmation number, keep it safe. That is what will tell you if you have been selected. Your email comes second, because that is how they are going to inform you on your visa appointment. Okay, I hope that is clear. Now, when you are doing your DV lottery, please make sure that you are providing the following information. Now, failure to accurately include all the required information will make you ineligible for a DV. Now, what are you supposed to do? So you're doing it for yourself, because we said you're doing it for yourself, because like I said, when you come here to live in the US, most of the stuff you're going to do it for yourself. Nobody is going to help you. There is nobody. Even your own relative will not have time to help you, because here it's individualized. You do your stuff for yourself. So what you need to enter there when you're doing your first application, you have to have your last family name, first name, and middle name. So for example, I like to use my name. Like my last family name is Nganga. That's my husband's name. First name is Charity, and then my middle name is Nyokabi. So that's how you put them, exactly as it appears on your passport. For example, if your passport shows only your first and last name, please list your last family name and this first name. Do not include a middle name unless it is included in your passport. But now here, because they do not want to, they removed the passport rule. You have that identification that you have, your birth certificate, you have your ID. Write your names as they are on your ID, because that ID and that birth certificate is what you're going to use when you have been selected and you will go to get a passport. You understand? So remember these 24, 24, they don't need a passport. Now you're going to include your gender. You're going to include your birth date. Please do not confuse your birth date. Here in the US, we write our dates differently, very differently. We start with the day, and then the month, and then the year. So write like that. No, they say day, month, year. Here we start different. Let me not confuse you. Just write the way it is. The city you were born, where were you born? That should be on your birth certificate or your ID. The country where you are born, that's very, very important. Use the name of the country used for the place where you are born. Very, very important. So if you had moved out and maybe you were born in Tanzania and you moved out, you went to live in Canada. You were not born in Canada. You were born in your Tanzania. So that's your country of eligibility. Now I'm going to skip this part of the passport because they do not require the passport. So I am going to skip that part. But remember, when you have been selected, when you have won your green card, you'll think about the passport later. Now, number 8, your entrant photograph. This is very important. Recent photographs taken within the last 6 months of yourself, your spouse, and all your derivative children. Now, I did that video about the photo. And then someone is like, where do I go or what do I do? Please watch the video. Please watch the video so that you can have that. It's there, that information is there. And if you need more information, come to this website and see how to submit a digital photograph and how that photograph should be. So that's very, very important, guys. Very, very, very important. Now, put your mailing address. Now, this one always throws people off. Now, this mailing address, put a post office. I know that most African countries, we don't use the address system. Now, here in the US, we use the address system. You must have an address where you're living, and you must have a place where they are going to send your mail. I know I didn't have it, and I've talked to several people who have gone to the embassy recently. Most people do not have a mailing address because it's not like incorporated in the system. Now, but if you wanted to receive a letter, maybe you receive a letter through a relative, or maybe you receive a letter through maybe the school nearby you or nearby the church. Those things happen. So if it is not you don't have a mailbox, just say in care of. You put the address, maybe it's the address for your church or for your uncle or for your aunt, and then you say in care of your name. But that one it's not very important, but just put a mailing address there. Now, country where you live today. So if you were born in a different country, maybe you were born in Uganda and you live in Saudi Arabia, you will write the country that you're living. That is where maybe that's where you're working. You will write the country where you live today, and then your phone number, that's optional. Now, the email address. Now, this one is very, very important. They have even underlined some information that we're going to talk about. Email address, an email address to which you have direct access and will continue to have direct access through May of next year. If you check the entrance status check in May and learn that you have been selected, you will later receive follow-up email communication from the Department of State with details if an immigrant visa interview becomes available. Very, very important, guys. First of all, it's your confirmation number, and then you go and check, and then after you have checked, they will use your email to contact you for further instructions. Now, I need you to see the underlined part there. It says that the Department of State will never send you an email telling you that you have been selected for the DV program. So if someone sends you an email and they tell you have been selected for the DV lottery, that's a scam. That's a lie. So please, your confirmation number is your key. That's the key for you to know whether you have been selected. Now, of course, you'll talk about highest level of education that you have achieved as of today. So do you have primary school? Do you have high school or no diploma? Do you have high school or high school or no diploma means you went to high school and you didn't finish. High school with diploma, you got a certificate. Vocational school is a training school like catering, like tailoring, like hairdressing. You say that. If you have university courses, maybe you're still in the university, you indicate there. If you have a university degree, you indicate there. If you have some graduate level courses, you indicate whatever level that you are, guys, put it there. But remember, they want the minimum qualification should be a high school education. And like I said, if you don't have it, use your spouse. Okay, now let's go to here. Current marital status. Are you unmarried? That is, are you single? You write you are unmarried. You indicate there. There's a box there that says unmarried. Married and my spouse is not a U.S. citizen or U.S. lawful permanent resident. Now, if you have never come to the U.S. or your spouse has never come to the U.S. and you are married, number 2 is where you select. Married and my spouse is a U.S. citizen or a U.S. legal permanent resident. Now, that is if one of your spouses lives here in the U.S. and you live somewhere in outside the countries that qualify. Now, guys, you have, even if your spouse lives here in the US, you must contact them and ask them what is their legal status. You have to do that. You know, you cannot assume that when someone goes to the US, they are a US citizen or they are a US legal permanent resident. You can know. And you know, I normally tell you guys the best way to know if someone is if it's a US citizen or they are a US legal permanent resident. Look at the length of the time that they have stayed here. They have stayed for 20 years. They have stayed for so many years, and maybe something like very drastic happened at home. Maybe there was a death, a parent passed away, or maybe something, you know, something that really involves family, and that person did not go home. Those people do not have papers. So you have to be sure, guys. And I'm not against anybody who doesn't have papers, whatever. And I might not even know them personally, but what I'm saying is that if that person has never been here, I want to blow my nose, guys. If that person has never gone back home, that's something that should tell you. So know that. So don't go writing there that your spouse is a US citizen or legal permanent resident simply because they live in the US. Don't do that, guys. Please don't do that. Now, if you're divorced, you will indicate you're divorced, but you have to have a letter of divorce. If you're widowed, you have to have the death certificate, because they may ask. Legally separated, you must indicate, and you have to have a letter showing that you're legally separated. You cannot go by word of mouth. Let me tell you guys, this stuff, when you go to the embassy, you can't go for word of mouth. This is a country of paperwork. Like you can't imagine when you come here the paperwork that you get. So you have to have something, guys, that is legal, that shows that you are divorced or you are legally separated or whatever. You have to have that. You have that story of I am going to tell them this is what happened. They are, you know, they need something, some proof. How can you prove? Even us, we are US citizens. When we go to get an ID, or maybe when we go to renew the tag for the car, they ask for our address, you know, and you have to have something, a bill that shows that that's your address, that has your name, you know, the proof of something. So I need you guys to start learning that they might want some proof of something. You're telling them that you are divorced. Where is the divorce letter? You know what I mean? So it's very, very important, because this is where we go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You have to have some documentation of some sort that is legally showing that you have been divorced or you have been legally separated. Okay. All right. A photograph of your spouse meeting some technical specification of your photo. And then let's go on. Now, failure to list your eligible spouse or listing someone who is not your spouse will make you ineligible as a DV principal applicant, and your spouse and your children ineligible for the DV derivative applicant. So here you have to be honest, guys. Here there is no shortcut. Do not lie. Do not lie. You know, when I read this statement, sometimes it just makes me smile. I'm like, don't go there lying, because they will know. And you know, it's good. I like to tell it as it is. It's good to be honest, because the truth goes a long way. Now, you must list your spouse even if you are currently separated from him or her, unless you are legally separated. Okay? If you ran away from your husband or you ran away from your wife and you want to say that you are legally separated, unless you have legally in the court or whatever, then you have to list them. Legal separation, they have went to explain, is an arrangement when a couple remains married but live apart following a court order. Okay? You have to do all that. That's the American system. They will not go with the rules of the law of the land that you're living. No, they will go with the rules of the laws of this land. You understand? Okay. You will not be penalized if you choose to enter the name of a spouse from whom you are legally separated. If you are not legally separated by a court order, you must include your spouse even if you plan to be divorced before you apply for the diversity visa or your spouse does not intend to immigrate. Very, very important, guys. So listen to that. Okay. Now, if your spouse is a U.S. citizen or a lawful permanent resident, do not list him on her in your entry. A spouse who is already a U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident will not require to be issued a visa. So very, very important. So if you find out that your spouse is a U.S. citizen or they are a U.S. lawful permanent resident and you're doing application, you don't need to list them. And you know, if your spouse is a U.S. citizen or a lawful permanent resident, there are other ways that they can file for you and as a spouse, and you get a visa. You know, there are other way that they can file for you. Now, let's talk about kids. Number of children. List the name, date of birth, gender, city, town of birth, and country of birth for all living and married children under 21 years of age. There was this question: can I list my child when they are over 21 years of age? No, you cannot. You can only list kids who are under 21 years of age, regardless of whether they are living with you or intend to accompany or join you. Should you migrate to the United States, submit individual photographs for each of your children using the same technical specifications as your own photograph. Very, very important. Now, be sure to include all your living natural children, those are your own children, all living children legally adopted by you. If the kids are adopted by you, please indicate them there and make sure that you have the right paperwork for the kids that you have adopted. It is not by word of mouth, guys. You know, the African way of life is that you can take your sister's child or your brother's child and you start living with them and you start saying that you have adopted them. That's not adoption. That's helping. Now, adoption means that when you are going there, you have legal documents that specify that you adopted that child and you are given all the rights over that child. You have to have some paperwork to show that you have adopted that child. Why? Because you cannot show up to the embassy and say that this is my sister's child or whatever, and I have adopted them without paperwork, because you may give them the thought that you want to abandon, you want to kidnap that child. No, you don't want to do that. You must have legally adopted them. Now, all living stepchildren, children of exes who are unmarried and are under the age of 21 on the date of your electronic entry, even if you're no longer legally married to the child's parent, even if the child does not currently reside with you or will not immigrate with you. Very, very important point here. So don't leave them out. Those children of your exes, put them there. But when you have included them there, remember that when you go to the embassy, and that was your ex, you will have to have something, guys. You will not go and say by word of mouth that these are my stepchildren and I want to go with them without the consent of the other parent. It doesn't work like that, guys. And you know, all these things are here. So if you go, when I talk about it, go and verify if that's the truth, so that you can know how to arrange yourself. All right, let's see. Married children and children who are already aged 21 or older when you submit your entry are not eligible for the review program. However, the Child Status Protection Act protects children from aging out in certain circumstances. That is, if you submit your DV entry before your unmarried child turns 21 and the child turns 21 before visa issuance, it is possible that he or she may be treated as though she were under 21 for the visa processing purposes. So let's assume that your child is under 21 and you did the application, but before the process went on, they are over 21 years old. There's a protection that protects them, that they are not going to age out. That doesn't mean that if you won the DV lottery and they were 21 years old 6 months, they will still be processed. You see what I mean? So it's very, very important for you to list those kids if they are not married. If they are not married and they do not have grandkids. So you cannot say that since I am living with my daughter or my son and they have their child and they live with me, I am going to include them and I am going to include their grandchild. It doesn't work like that, guys. It does not work like that. And of course, if a person is 18 and above, they should be able to do the application for themselves. It adds to the basket, you know. Okay. A child who is already a U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident, when you submit your DV entry, will not require to be issued a diversity visa. You will not be penalized for either including or omitting such family members in your entry. Very, very important. Now, this is like a caution. Failure to list all the children who are eligible or listing someone who is not your child will make you ineligible for a DV, and your spouse and the children will also be ineligible as diversity visa derivative applicants. So, and you find that when this is just a summary. They have this one's in blue. When you click on them, frequently asked questions, so that all the information is here, guys. So go and do a lot of research, read a lot, so that those pitfalls that could make them go there and they want to ask for more information. Especially this comes in when you have when it's about marriage, when it's about kids, so that you know what to do, guys. Because if you have those children from your ex or whatever, and you don't have something that shows that the other parent has given you permission to immigrate with those kids, believe me, you will have a trouble. You'll be in trouble. And I said that what I know is that every case, when you go there, it's individualized. Like every person gets different questions. Every person every case is different. It's like when you go to a doctor. You might go to a doctor and all of you are having a headache, or all of you are having some sort of, you have the same disease, but you find that the way the doctor is gonna treat this person or treat this other person is different. That's how I see the DV lottery, because it's very, very different. Another thing that I normally tell you guys, don't go looking for information out there. What you should do is go to this website. The information is there. It's telling you, do this, do this, do this. After you have had that information, then when you're going to do the application, you have that power. You said you went to the website, you read, you watched the video. I've told you this is where you go, because you don't want to go to someone who is gonna charge you. You don't want to go to someone and tell them to fill out the DV lottery application for you. No, this is something that you can do for yourself when you read the instructions, and it prepares you when you come to the US that you will be able to do the stuff for yourself. So I hope that this video is going to help someone out there. And all I can do, guys, I always wish you all the best in whatever that you're doing. And remember, whether you have won the DV lottery or whether you have not won the DV lottery, life must go on. So don't stop your life. Go on with your life and wait for the best. We always wait for the best. It's a lottery, and this is the DV lottery. It is the only lottery that has so many instructions that you have to follow. So many instructions that people do not understand. And they always tell you, being selected or being whatever is not a guarantee that you will come to the US. So it is important for us to know, because some people don't know. Some people are being conned so much money because people are just pretending that they want to help. So you are not supposed to be charged anything, especially when you're doing the application. Money comes in later after you have won. You're going for the embassy, you're going for your medicals. That is where you pay the money. So guys, please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to share with your friends. And I wish you all the best. I'll see you in another video. Thank you, and God bless you.